Imani is a name that means peace in Kiswahili. It serves as an appropriate description of a girl who has had to find internal tranquility in a storm. 4-year-old Imani Malaki has just been declared cancer-free after a period of rigorous treatment in India. Even though doctors say the cancer is in remission, there are no traces of the cells. And during this Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, Emily Chebet reports on the challenges and breakthroughs that young cancer patients experience.
Tears of joy flowed freely from family and friends of 4-year-old Imani Malaki. Imani has been away from home for more than 7 months. The look on her face gives away her confusion and anxiety. She joins family in weeping, but she might not fully grasp the implication of this emotional moment. It is obvious baby Imani is happy to be back home. At home in Kinoo, Kiambu County, preparations for a homecoming party are ongoing, and with good reason. Baby Imani was diagnosed with cancer of the muscle stage 4 last year, and in January this year, she was flown to India for treatment. Last week on Tuesday, she jetted back into the country after she was declared cancer-free. But the doctors have a more cautious approach. They describe it as remission stage. For Father Samson Malaki and his wife, the few months have been hard to explain. They narrate to us how their third-born daughter hurt herself on the bedside while playing with her sisters, sometimes in October last year.
They were going round, so she bumped herself on the edge of the bed, and the place that was affected was the left thigh.
The swelling from that trauma could not subside, and they visited hospital several times, seeking effective treatment. As they were preparing their daughter for surgery at Gertrude's Hospital, Muthaiga, their doctor advised them to seek another opinion, and that is when they were given some shocking news.
He actually told us openly. He told us that in this situation, we can't really avoid a cancer scenario.
Their fears would later be confirmed after several scans and a biopsy at the Nairobi hospital. She was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, a cancer of the muscles.
She was supposed now to give us now the results of the biopsy, the minor surgery that was done. So she looked us in the eyes and told us that unfortunately, the tumor is cancerous.
It was the most shocking news ever, because Imani has been the most healthy baby all along. She's never been sick.
Medical experts do not know exactly what causes soft tissue sarcomas or muscle cancer in children, but some factors like inherited genetic disorder or exposure to certain chemicals could increase the probability of being diagnosed with the condition.
Initially, we were very mad. We were like, you just walked in, and in fact, even instead of even trying to take us through that particular issue slowly, he just came in and told us we cannot escape a cancer scenario.
The adult's journey towards Imani's recovery began almost immediately, the parents making a decision to take their daughter to India for treatment. Dr. Doreen Karemi, a pediatric oncologist at Gertrude's Hospital, who was the leading doctor, handed them over to colleagues in India with concerns that the cancer was progressing very quickly and was headed to her abdomen and the lungs.
She needed a special type of radiation, which we don't have in the country. It's called brachytherapy. And what that brachytherapy does is to deliver radiation in a smaller area so that you don't cause a lot of damage to all the tissues.
There are usually side effects like disproportionate bone growth on both sides, because radiation is given to the end of the bone when we do externally. But in her case, we did it in the tumor bone. There is minimal side effects and also saves time. She was put on a 9-week intense chemotherapy and radiation treatment regime. Being a stage 4 case, medical experts were not sure how she would react to the treatment, and they were pleasantly surprised by the end results. In Imani's case, it was like a miracle. After 9 weeks of chemotherapy, which was almost over, we repeated the PET scan. There was no disease anywhere at the scan, including the primary tumor. She lost her hair during treatment, and her mother tells us it was the most difficult thing for Imani to accept. She could not understand why, but right now, she is definitely happier.
just for me, and I don't know how I did that.
The joy on her parents' face tells it all. Doctors, however, maintain that baby Imani will still be under medical observation for some time.
I remember texting the doctor and asking the doctor, please just summarize all this medical jargon. What do you mean? So she sent me a text message. She tells me a lot of stories. Then at the end of the text message is when she told me, for now, Imani is cancer-free. That was the best moment of my life. I remember that time I was in a meeting. I stood up, left the meeting, went to my car, locked myself in the car. For 30 minutes, I was in tears. I couldn't hold it.
We had the MRIs, the PETs, the scans, the CT scans. So I remove everything and we are going through it. And he tells me, in short, this is a comparison between the previous and now. We can't trace any cancer cells. So for me, it was just a confirmation. Of course, there was the excitement and everything. I wasn't expecting, a negative report. I knew God had done it.
Imani's good news could not have come at a better time, as September is a Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, a golden month in the medical profession.
We chose gold for children just to show that they are really significant, they are precious, and now in this month, we do as much as we can as healthcare providers, as advocates for children, to raise a lot of awareness about childhood cancer.
Imani's parents have spent over 8 million Kenya shillings so far in the quest for good health for their baby, and they must dig deeper into their pockets to pay for tests that will be carried out periodically. They urge other parents to pay attention to what medical experts know so far about cancer symptoms in children.
If you have your child is having signs of anemia, where they look pale, they look whiter than normal, any bleeding anywhere, bleeding tendencies, persistent fever is something that a parent should be alert. That could be a symptom of cancer.
According to the World Health Organization, 80% of children diagnosed with cancer in high-income countries get cured. But in low-income countries like here in Kenya, 15 to 45% of these children recover. This could be the reason why most people in Kenya take their children to India for treatment, which begs the question, how many parents or guardians can afford to go to India for treatment? Emily Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.